Jingjing. Hello, my name is Jingjing, and as you can tell, I am Asian. And you might think that Asians study day and night and never take a rest. You're absolutely right. That was me 10 years ago. But now I love nature. And so I'm going to talk about bring the classroom out to nature and give free range learning to the kids today. And our fact talking today is Tamatu Tamaora, Tamanoho Tamamate. So the active person will stay healthy, but lazy people will get sick. Have you ever noticed in the afternoon or during the last lesson of the day, our kids cannot focus on study? They might play with their plants or look around the classroom. Sometimes they look at you like this, but you know they're not listening. So they all show that kids are not getting enough movement throughout the day, so their body are not prepared for learning. You might say, yeah, but kids get break time and or recess so they can play around. But the problem is there are way too many rules for playtime. Like they can't ride their bike in the playground, they can't use the stick, they can't climb up high. And also the time is so limited. They'll get like 20 minutes, so they just run out of the classroom and get high, and then they have to get back to classroom. So the teacher have to spend time to calm them down so that they can focus on learning again. And even out of school, our kids do not get much freedom to play. Some kids will join in the clubs or sports, which are well organized. And some of them will get an iPad and they can read a book, watch videos, play games, whatever they want, because their parents are still busy in their work and they don't have enough time to play with the kids. And at the same time, the kids are not allowed to get outside independently because parents are concerned about risks such as strangers or cars on the road. The screen time really take up kids' screen time. But don't get me wrong, I'm not from last century and try to talk you out of using technology. Thanks to technology, it's really our life is changing. Like even now, I can record this presentation at home and you can watch it just with a click of your mouth. But before diving into the world of technology, it would be better if we can bring our kids back to nature, to where we as human beings came from, and learn how people interact with nature throughout the history. You might say, like, we as teacher, we can't really change the schedule to set aside more playtime for kids, and we can't control how many physical education class that kids can have for a week. And we have to follow the curriculum to make sure kids learn what is required. Yeah, that is true. How can we give kids more playtime for their well-being and at the same time do our teaching job? But learning in nature or bring kids outdoor doesn't have to be in the forest. It can be in the playground, the green area, wildlife center, or just local parks. And also, learning in nature are not only involved in PE class, can also be in technology, math, reading and writing, or science lessons. For example, in the math class to learn about shapes, we can bring kids outdoor for shape hunting. They can look in for the triangles, rectangles, cones, or other shapes in the playground. Or when learning about counting or numeracy, instead of using the commercial counters, which you might spend a lot of money on it, we can bring kids outdoor to collect some leaves or rocks, use it as a counter. So next time when you think about when you're doing the lesson planning, you can think about how to integrate the knowledge into nature so that we can bring our kids outdoors. And there are so many things to learn. We can think about like in the nature, kids can build up dams up the stream. Kids can um, like observe the bugs on the ground. They can use the sticks to make bow and arrows. There are just so much fun to learn there. Even for story story writing, our kids can learn it in the outdoor contest. They can bring their character out in nature and to play it with their friend, so that they can build up the story together. When they get back to the classroom, it can it'll get much easier for them to write because they have already talked about it and think about it in outdoors. And thankfully, there are already many schools or educators try to bring their kids outdoor. For example, there's for a school up in Auckland and a into nature school in Hamilton, and also one bush farm school here in Christchurch. Their kids are experiencing changes. So first, kids learn social skills. So in the authentic environment, kids have to cooperate and collaborate with their classmates. They communicate and express their ideas and also listen actively to their folks, to their mates. And also even kids who find it difficult to speak in the classroom find it much easier to engage and join in the conversation in the nature. Because with physically freedom, they found it more confident to express and talk. Another thing is they learn to solve the problem. In nature, they have in they have to face things that doesn't follow the routine that kids are familiar with. When unexpected happened, they learn to make sense of what is happening by thinking and talking with their friends. And also they need to figure out the solutions. They might try but fail, try it again and fail again, and they might figure out another way to do it. Every time they are getting better, and that is how they learn. They learn from failure and gain resilience. Our kids also learn to deal with risks in the nature. So there are dangers and risks out in nature. It is kind of our adults' natural instinct want to call a stop. For example, when we saw a kid climb up in a tree and we're scared, and we might call out and say, "Hey, get down from the tree, otherwise you will fall and hurt yourself." But if the kids are not allowed to face the risk, try to deal with the risks, how can they learn to deal with the risks, the potential risks ahead in their life? Kids learn to deal with the risks by facing them. So, yeah. And we as adults, we should learn to step back and give them the freedom to fail, to learn. Sometimes doing nothing is doing something. And you remember we talked about the concentration problem at the beginning. Does bring kids outdoor help? Yes, the answer is yes. So the research found that kids have higher concentration level when they get back to the classroom as they use their energy, climb up and down, and when they get back, they're ready to learn. So Albert Einstein said, look deep into nature. You will understand everything better. Nature is such a great classroom and there's so much fun there. So just bring our kids outdoors. They will learn more than we expect. Kids are natural learners. Thank you very much.